Hey y'all, it's Kendall and I'm coming back at you with a new video today.
I know y'all came for the tea, and the only tea you're gonna get today in this video is testimonies.
I'm gonna share with you guys a little bit about what's going on in my life, where I've been on my hiatus off of social media, and just some things I've learned because y'all, this has been such a crazy reflecting period on myself, on my past, on my life, on my family and my interpersonal connections, and just who I am and what my purpose is here on this earth. I think that this video is so far past due. I wanted this to be my first piece of content I drop with my social media return, and I just want y'all to know the content that I will be making from here on out will be my truth. It's not necessarily what I think the audience wants to see. It's not gonna be me dressing up in clothes and doing vlogs and things like that. I feel like now is the time that I need to start using my platform to speak up on the things that really matter to me, because if I don't, I'm doing the world a disservice. So I've taken about 4 months off of social media. That's Instagram, Facebook, all of those things. And the reason being is because I just found it so negative and it just became way too much and too overwhelming for me, especially with the world in the state that it is in. I'm somebody who's like hyper aware, right? I'm an empath in a way that I feel so much of what's going on around me, and energies tend to weigh on me heavy. I'm one of those people who can read somebody better than they can read themselves sometimes. When you're that kind of hypersensitive person, it can be really hard on you mentally. When you are an overthinker and somebody who's highly intellectual, you do sometimes think yourself into a hole. A lot of you guys probably came here for the tea, the 411, the gossip, since I haven't been on social media for quite some time. And yes, I did have a mental breakdown, like completely and totally. We're gonna get into that. I went through a breakup. I went through losing so many people. In the moment, it felt like my entire life was falling apart. At the end of 2020, my grandpa passed away, and then shortly after that, my dog passed away. And then just a couple months ago, at the height of my breakdown, my brother had gotten in an accident in Jamaica, and it left him in critical condition. I didn't know if he was gonna live. I just remember getting the news that my brother had been driven off the road and he was in critical condition, and I just dropped on my kitchen floor on my knees, and my first instinct, y'all, was just to pray to God. Pray to God for my brother. Pray, pray, pray. Nothing else mattered in that moment. With everything going on around the world, it's made travel very difficult, so it's not like I could just get on a plane and go to Jamaica and be by his side in that moment without a bunch of testing and a bunch of preparation, and on top of that, like, flight costs right now are just astronomical. It was so difficult and I didn't know what I could do. I felt helpless. I felt like all I could do was pray. Like, I don't know. So sorry for getting emotional, but this is some real shit. Prior to everything happening with my brother, I was already at the beginning of my spiritual awakening, y'all. My journey to the point where I'm at now in my spirituality and my relationship with God, it's been a long road, y'all. On the outside, it seemed like everything was going so well. Inside, I felt like I wasn't living up to my true purpose. I'm not somebody who can sit back and watch as things around me fall apart. I wish I was the kind of person who could just not look at the big picture, not try to take on the world, ignore everything that's actually going on behind the scenes. These times that we're all going through, it's a spiritual battle, y'all. It's a battle for the hearts, the minds, and the souls of the people. And for me to just ignore that and just go with the flow and do what everyone else is doing and be in the crowd, it was starting to drive me crazy. I wasn't living in my truth. I was just doing things because I felt like that's what I should be doing. If you met the girl I was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, you wouldn't even recognize her from the woman that I am today. I can't help but feel bad for the girl I used to be, y'all. I was just so lost. I was in some kind of hypnosis. I was asleep. Physically, I may look the same, but mentally, spiritually, emotionally, I'm a completely changed person. My whole belief systems have changed, starting to question everything that I used to think before, my ideologies, and just the way I looked at life and the world. I have come to the realization that my physical body is the host for my soul, and I'm actually a spiritual being having a human experience. This is the Great Awakening. There's a lot of people waking up and they're saying, hey, I didn't come here to be a slave. I didn't come here. A lot of people are waking up and realizing that systems and beliefs that they have, everything's changing now. Like, we are headed towards a crazy new earth, y'all. I feel very bad for the people who are still trying to hold on to normal, because yesterday was history and it's never coming back. Prior to my awakening, I was vibrating at such low frequencies. I was always depressed, always talking negative, and you know what? I've become a lot more conscious about how to keep my vibrations high, but even I struggle with that sometimes too. Mental health is a crisis, y'all, especially with the lockdowns, the social distancing. All of that is really starting to affect people mentally. Sometimes the world seems so heavy and so dark to me that I don't even want to get out of bed in the morning. It's scary seeing what's going on in the world. It's scary being bombarded left and right with information about green passes and segregation and all of that. Like, that kind of stuff stresses me out, and it's hard to hearing every day about climate change and the forest fires and all the deaths going on in the world. Like, just being bombarded with that 24/7 is so draining. That's why I wanted to hop off social media, and honestly, unless it's posting videos like this, I don't want to just be out here posting titty pics on Instagram anymore. Like, there is so much more to life than that. For me, I just try to be mindful of my vibrations, and if somebody's around me that doesn't make me feel good about myself, is constantly judging me or calling me crazy, cool. You don't even have to be around me, because at the end of the day, we create our own reality. It doesn't matter if these people like you. Not everyone is obligated to like you, and that is fine. I've just come to the realization that I don't have to be around these people. I don't care about anybody's opinion. Am I living up to my true purpose? Am I fulfilling what I was put on this planet to do? If a person, place, or thing is getting in the way of that, then I gotta let that go. If you saw my friend circle even a year ago compared to what my friend circle is now, it's dwindled and it's changed, y'all. It's changed, because at this point, I'm shedding the old me, and not everyone's gonna make it. Not everyone's coming where you're going. Throughout the entirety of the last relationship I was in, I was going through such a crazy spiritual awakening even before my partner walked into my life, and honestly, I should have just stayed single, because when you start to wake up and the veil is lifted, it can be a shock. It can be depressing. I had a really good looking boyfriend at the time, but spiritually, like, I didn't feel like there was a deeper connection. It wasn't that soul connection. Once I started seeing the world for what it was, I started to withdraw from people, places, and all the things I used to be interested in or care about, I no longer care about. The things I put my time into before, when I was in that kind of hypnosis, I could have been putting that time towards healing and becoming a greater version of myself. I used to think being popular or well-liked was important, but then I realized if I can't be my true and authentic self, I'm fine with being alone. I'm fine with having 0 friends, to be quite honest. At the beginning of my awakening, I was so angry because I couldn't believe how much of my time, how much of my energy, how much of my happiness has been robbed from me over the years by a system that was never even made for me to win. When I started waking up, I wanted everyone around me to wake up too, you know? And unfortunately, we all wake up at different times. I'm an old soul. It's very hard to pull a fast one on me. It's hard to pull the wool over my eyes, and it's hard to take advantage of me. Like, I'm just not gonna let that happen. I've definitely had past lives before. There's new souls who maybe haven't had as many past lives, and they're very naive. They just are the kinds of people who go with the flow, partake in group think. Those kinds of people are easily led astray. I'm not that kind of person. I've always been a free thinker. I've always been somebody who says what I mean and I mean what I say, and a lot of people don't like it. A lot of people don't like the truth, and if you don't like the truth, that's not my problem. I'd rather keep it real with the truth than comfort you with a lie. I'm gonna keep it G regardless. At the end of the day, if you can't respect me, my opinions, my values, then hit the road. I just started to realize that the people around me were not exactly who I thought they were, that a lot of them I put on a pedestal that they didn't even deserve to be on. I stand up for what I believe in, and a lot of people don't do that. They don't even think critically about anything. They can't even have an open discussion. You can't even get through to them because they're just so stuck in the matrix that anything else is just overwhelming for them. I believe that a lot of people stay in that comfort zone because if they ever did take in the truth, they couldn't even handle it. Ignorance is bliss, as they say, and a lot of people, they can't handle truth. So I understand why people are still just going along acting like everything's all good. I used to be stuck in the matrix. I used to be in that chase the bag mentality, and there's nothing that I wouldn't do for the gram. I used to put so much value on the public's perception of me that I really started to lose myself on the pursuit to popularity and praise from people I didn't even know on a free app in my phone. No matter how many streams I got, how many likes, how many comments, how many shares, how many views I get, it was never enough. I never felt good about myself. I literally don't enjoy being in this rat race. It's so pointless. Who can have bigger and bigger and bigger boobs? Who can have bigger and bigger and bigger lips? And it just starts to get like crazy, you know? It starts to get too much. It's like, at what point is enough enough? Comparison is the #1 thief of joy, and we gotta start living our lives in gratitude, y'all. We gotta start thanking God every day for the blessings that we do have and stop focusing on what we don't. As soon as you start comparing yourself to the next person, especially somebody's Instagram, which by now we should all know is smoke and mirrors, it's not real, your vibes, your frequency is automatically gonna go down. Don't compete with people, because honestly, there's no competition when you're manifesting in your own lane. If you're doing your own thing, you're positive vibes, positive energy, you don't need to worry about what the next person's doing, because you got all there in your lane. Tunnel vision. I can honestly say I don't care what people think about me. That's why I sit here and I make these videos. That's why I post unpopular opinions on my social media platforms, because at the end of the day, I did not build these platforms to appease to simple, small-minded people. I'm not gonna pretend that like I'm this toxically positive person all the time. I'm not. I have my good days and I have my bad days, and I've had times, y'all, where I didn't even want to live anymore. Like, that's how bad things got. I've had times where I was at rock bottom, and I remember who was there for me those times, y'all. So with that being said, everyone else is an acquaintance at this point, and I'm just like coming to that realization that not everybody that you call your friend is actually your friend, and your biggest hater is not a stranger. One of my biggest lessons is that you are who you surround yourself with, right? It's so important to be hyper aware and hyper selective of who you decide to surround yourself with, because not everybody deserves access to you, and you can't just be out here friends with everybody, because there's a lot of people with demons on their back. Conversations just were shallow. I found myself partaking in groupthink and not thinking for myself. I found myself dismissing my personal values to accommodate others and partaking in activities that didn't go along with my own moral code, all for a false sense of acceptance from the people around me who honestly don't even really give a about me. I remember who called me when I was down and out. I remember who was there for me. And quite honestly, when you delete your social media, you realize how few people actually got your back and truly have good intentions for you. Now I'm able to connect with the people around me on a much deeper, more spiritual level, where I'm growing and getting in touch with my higher self. A lot of the time, the hard truth is people only love you as much as they can use you. They only love you if they can gain something off of you, you know what I mean? Like, I've had a lot of ego-based relationships where I put you on, you put me on, but when push comes to shove and shit hits the fan, a lot of those friends kind of fell to the wayside. Not everyone's gonna be there for you. And like, being grateful for the people who are, a lot of people will be like,
oh, you switched up, you changed.
No. I overcame. I never want to stay the same. No, I'm not the same person I was 3 years ago. And in 3 years from now, I hope I'm not the same person that I am today. Being stagnant, being complacent, that's not growth. So I may have had opinions 2 years ago that have completely done a 180 now. And it's not fake, it's growth, because I'm learning and I'm coming into my own and realizing that some old ideals, some old ways of thinking are no longer serving me in my life anymore. When I did first take a break off social media, came down off my account, I really wanted to know how many people valued me because of a number on social media when they met me, or how many people actually with me because they with me. It's been so nice to like get people's phone numbers, like old school days. New friends that I've made, they actually pick up the phone and call me, or we text, or whatever the case may be. And so it's awesome. My screen time was up 8+ hours, guys. So like, I wasted hours just scrolling through social media, arguing with people about nonsense that I can't even change anyways, and especially not on somebody's post on social media. So I just found myself in such a toxic cycle, just comparing myself to other girls and constantly seeing fakeness all over the internet. You just like get lost in it, and it takes up so much of your time, and it just robs you of everything that is life. I'd rather be out with my friends biking, or out at the beach or going camping or doing something like that. I'd rather be doing any of those things than sitting inside fighting with somebody over the internet. And I just realized that honestly, I can have my opinions, I can say what I need to say, but I just need to say it and go. I just need to drop a video and go. I don't need to be up on here trying to convince somebody else out of their opinions. You're entitled to your opinions. A lot of people's opinions are wrong, but you're entitled to your opinions, and that's that. I'm not here to try to debate people anymore. In some cases, they're just gonna have to learn the hard way and learn for themselves, and that's okay. We can't save everybody. You're gonna go crazy trying to save everyone. You're gonna go crazy trying to wake everybody up. Some people aren't ready to wake up. Like I said earlier, they're new souls. They're easily tricked into things. They're easily led, and it's not my responsibility to take on the world at this point. And I feel like I found a lot more peace in that as well. A lot of people have tried to pull me back into the matrix, try to like convince me of how awesome their lives are inside the matrix, when most of the people I know are literally on meds, depressed, and have anxiety or have a slew of other mental health problems. And it's just like, at this point, y'all, I'm good. I'm good where I'm at. I'm working on my happiness and my self-fulfillment, and if that means going off grid and moving into the boonies away from all of this mess every day, I will do that. Don't be surprised if I drop off the face of the earth and emerge somewhere in South America with a new name and a new identity. Don't be surprised. Like, I just realized being off the app how much my anxiety levels went down. I can honestly say that, like, since I started surrounding myself with like-minded people, since I got off social media, started weeding through my friends list and deleting everyone who pissed me off on a day-to-day basis, my anxiety has been next to none. I realize that my anxiety comes from this. My anxiety comes from everything out there. But when I start going within, the anxiety is almost non-existent. I was honestly terrified to return to social media, y'all, because this has been such a crazy change and a complete 180 from the girl I was. I was going that way last year. I'm going this way this year, you know? And I just feel like a lot of people don't know the new me. I don't know if people are gonna like the new me. I don't know if my new way of thinking is going to be embraced, because I do not think the same anymore. I don't. I used to look at my life when I wasn't walking with God, when I wasn't in touch with my higher self, when I wasn't indulging in spirituality. I used to say, God, if you love me, why do all these bad things happen to me? Why do you let all these bad things happen to me? But the reality is, I wasn't walking with God that all these bad things kept happening to me. All these times I got rejected, it was redirection, and everything led me to the point that I'm at. God will give his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers, because he's preparing you for what's to come. If you can't already tell, it's getting real out there. It is getting real out there, you guys. Prepare yourself for battle. The things that you've been through, the tribulation you've gone through, that was preparing you for battle. So be grateful for those moments, because what didn't kill you, it made you stronger. Anytime I thought I lost, y'all, God blessed me with something bigger. God's plan for me was always bigger than my plan was for myself. Now I'm gonna start doing God's work. I'm gonna allow God to work through me in all that I do. I'm gonna put intention into what I'm doing and try to make content and videos that are raw and real and get the point across. The whole point of this message, y'all, is we all have a calling here on this earth. We all have skills and talents and abilities that we don't even tap into, because we're vibrating at such low frequencies all the time. We're stuck in that 9 to 5 that we hate. We're constantly chasing material and the bag and men and all of the rest. It's all distractions, y'all. It's distracting you from your real purpose. A piece of advice I will give you is, there's something solid about solidarity. Learn to be with yourself. Learn to be alone in your own thoughts, and that's when you'll really start to be able to go within and find your true purpose. In this time of darkness, uncertainty, and unrest, we need to cultivate our creativity, and we need to get in touch with our inner child. We need to create art. We need to sing. We need to laugh. We need to dance. We need to start getting back to the simple things in life and stop complicating shit, you know? Stop posting your relationships all over social media. Stop putting labels on every single thing and trying to put everybody in a box. You can't box me in. You can't put a label on this, and people will go crazy trying to do so. So that's pretty much all I wanted to share with y'all today. This has been one of the hardest years of my life. I feel like I've lost so much. I've lost family, I've lost friends, I've lost old ideologies, and just to come to this point has been such a test. blessed, and it's been a huge period of growth, I would say, because it helped me understand more about myself and where I'm at and what I need to do to continue to heal and become the best version of myself. And I'm not going to get there by these distractions, by these low vibrational people, by people who don't accept me for who I am. You don't have to agree with everything that I say, but if you want to be in my life, you better put some respect on my name. Some people will get you out of character. Create boundaries. Stop surrounding yourself with negative people, even if it's family. As Doug Ford would say, nothing's off the table. With all that being said, y'all, I want to start going in a new direction with my channel and just start uplifting people. I'm gonna start really making this my life's work. For those of you who don't know, I'm actually quite an activist. Like, I protest, I do all kinds of different things for whatever I believe in. So find something to believe in. I want to be the change I wish to see in this world, and I'm not just gonna sit here and keep my mouth shut on things that really matter to me anymore. No, I'm not doing that. When I'm vibrating at a low frequency, when I'm eating shitty food, when I'm hanging out with negative people, when I'm drinking all the time and just doing the most, I'm not gonna get on camera. I'm not gonna spread love. I'm gonna be vibrating at a low frequency, and it's not gonna be cute. Everyone's guilty of a bad day or saying things that they don't mean or things like that. I'm far from perfect. Even with my walk with God, that's why I don't preach too much about God, because my walk with God has been far from perfect, but the Lord says come as you are. And even at rock bottom, when I felt like I had no good qualities left, I had pretty much separated from every person in my life, and I just felt like I had nothing, God welcomed me with open arms, and he lifted me out of the gutter that I was in. And now I'm finding new people, new places, and new things that inspire me and bring out my inner child. As long as you're not hurting anybody, you better ride and die for what you believe in. And I feel like me being on this journey of self-discovery has just led me to some of the best people ever, and I feel like I'm finally in a place that I'm meant to be. I feel like, you know, the universe has a funny way of working things out, and every time I thought I lost, I was blessed with something better. So I'm gonna leave on that note. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for the support throughout, and even those who did message me privately to check in on me during these times. Thank you so much, because this shit has not been easy. It's been an insane year, definitely the hardest year of my life, but you grow through what you go through, and I'm excited for this next chapter, and I just want to keep the vibes high and stay motivated and put out content and just live in my truth. Thank you so much for watching. Before you head out, if you could give this video a little thumbs up, that would be amazing, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see y'all in the next video.